What if your greatest strength was invisible? What if your ability to see through people, to sense chaos before it erupts, to hold peace in a room full of fire, was the very reason some people walked away? You're not broken. You're just carrying a power that the world doesn't always understand. Today we're talking about when silent persuasion doesn't work, and more importantly, how to reclaim your strength when your insight isn't received. Welcome back. If you're new here, I'm Lisa, and I upload content in the top 10% of YouTube creators weekly. This video is for those of you who carry your wisdom quietly. The INFJs, the intuitives, the calm in the storm. We're diving into three major areas. One, when your intuition gets dismissed and what that really means. Two, the science behind pattern recognition and quiet foresight. Three, the loneliness of knowing too much. Let's get into it. The gift of seeing patterns others miss. Let's start with what INFJs are known for. Most people see chaos. INFJs, they see connection. Imagine walking into a room full of noise, tension, fake smiles, and power plays. To the average person, it feels messy. To an INFJ, it's a web, a map of motives, hidden hurts, and energetic shifts. They notice the repetition in someone's excuses, the pause before a fake laugh, the shift in group energy when a certain name is brought up. Others get stuck in the moment. INFJs zoom out. They think in arcs, in outcomes, in ripples. This is called introverted intuition, or NI, a rare cognitive function that predicts rather than reacts. It's not woo-woo. It's not paranoia. It's cognitive pattern matching on a subconscious level. And when INFJs speak on what they see, they're often ignored until weeks, months later, when everything unfolds exactly how they said. How did you know that? They always ask. It wasn't magic. It was pattern recognition. But here's the twist. When you see too much, you start to feel alone in the awareness, like you're playing a game no one else even knows is happening. Have you ever been called dramatic or paranoid only to be proven right by time? That wasn't overthinking. That was your gift. Chapter 2, when silent persuasion doesn't work. Let's be real though, this kind of quiet power, it doesn't always land. Some people are so used to chaos. They distrust calm. They need noise to feel secure. So when you offer stillness, clarity, a moment of breath, they push it away. Why? Because your calm confronts their storm. You're not arguing, you're not blaming, but your presence alone holds up a mirror. And some people, they're not ready to look, so they ghost you, dismiss your insight, or accuse you of being cold or distant. Let me say this loud for the people in the back. That's not about you. That's about what they're used to, and it's okay. Even therapists know this. When you regulate your nervous system, you're creating co-regulation. But if someone is used to emotional chaos, they'll interpret your peace as a threat. You are not broken for being calm. They are not evil for not receiving it. But the mismatch, it matters. And here's the most powerful thing you can do. Don't shrink your stillness. Don't over-explain your intuition. And don't chase validation. Let time do what time does. Chapter 3, the dark side of insight. Let's pivot. The loneliness of knowing too much. But let's sit with this for a moment, because there's a shadow to this superpower that no one talks about. Knowing too much can feel like being exiled from the group. While everyone is laughing, you're sensing what's not being said. While others move forward blindly, you're replaying the quiet red flags they ignored. It's not that you want to be different. It's that your brain just doesn't let you pretend. And that's where the INFJ paradox deepens. You crave connection, but the more patterns you recognize, the harder it is to relax into the moment. You can't unsee, you can't unknow, and sometimes you wish you didn't notice so much, because being the only one who sees the iceberg doesn't always make you the hero. Sometimes it just makes you the one who's blamed when the ship turns too late. So if you've ever felt emotionally lonely in a crowded room, if you've ever second-guessed your gift because it cost you closeness, that's not a flaw in you. That's the tax on deep perception. And here's the truth no one says out loud. The ability to read patterns is powerful, but the ability to hold yourself steady when no one else sees them yet, that's legendary. Now, what happens when our intuition fails us? When the pattern was wrong? When our gut misread a situation? And here's the truth no one says out loud. The ability to read patterns is powerful, but the ability to hold yourself steady when no one else sees them yet, that's legendary. When we projected instead of perceived. This is the dark side of being an INFJ. We don't just process our own emotions. We process what we thought was going to happen. We grieve predictions. We carry regret not for what was, but for what we foresaw and couldn't stop. And sometimes our insight turns against us. We spiral, replay conversations, overanalyze the patterns, and that's when we need to return to presence, to ask, was this about intuition or insecurity? Was this a signal or a story I created? Your gift is real, but even gifts need calibration. If you've ever felt guilt for being wrong about someone, even when your heart was in the right place, that's the shadow work of the INFJ journey, and you're not alone. Let's bring it full circle. You're not here to convince people who aren't ready. You're here to sharpen the gift you already have. Remember when we talked about how INFJs see patterns others miss? Now you see why that gift comes with responsibility, with doubt, with isolation, but you also see why it's worth keeping. In the next video, we're going even deeper. We'll decode what actually happens when people ghost INFJs and how to stop taking that silence personally. Because silence is not always rejection, and peace is not weakness. Subscribe so you don't miss it. And if this video hit you in the chest today, leave a comment. I'm done shrinking my stillness. I'll see you in the next one.